A-list celebrities. Have you ever wondered what kind of life they live? What kind of clothes they wear?
Please welcome Kendall Jenner.
What kind of treatment they get?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
What kind of vacations they take?
Birthday trip! Happy birthday!
And in my case, what kind of art supplies do they use? I realize that I'm probably the only person in existence that has wondered this, but regardless, I want to know. So I looked through hundreds of different photographs, videos, TV series, interviews, YouTube videos, old Instagram and Snapchats of so many different celebrities to find what are the exact art supplies that they're using. And I think the list is probably going to surprise you as much as it surprised me because I was not expecting some of these things at all. So I welcome you to this journey where today I'm going to test them out, see what they're all about, how they work, how expensive they are, and most importantly, find out how common they are to normal people like you and I. But before we get into it, just on a real note, last video I said some very, very personal things. It was definitely one of the hardest videos that I've ever had to make. And in response to that, the amount of support, comments, stories that you guys have shared, just the sheer amount of support has been absolutely phenomenal. My subscribers, the people who watch me, this little community that we have created, it's just absolutely the best, and I just want to say thank you so much. And now that I've released this big burden, it feels nice to be able to start over with like a nice clean slate, and I'm ready to make some banger videos and create again starting right now. Now, for this very first celebrity, I'm gonna need you guys to understand that there's not many celebrities in this world that if I met them, I would fall over and start crying. But this celebrity who I'm about to show you, I am literally one of the biggest fans for. This person is my girl. I am so protective of this woman that I'm like on her Reddit threads. I'm on her like Stan Twitter accounts. I look up pictures of her on Pinterest in my free time. I watch her music videos over and over and over again. In fact, I have most top comments on every single one of her music videos because I'm that dedicated. I am a huge fan of this person and their music. And this person, of course, who is it?
It's Britney, bitch.
When I was doing my research, I managed to find this video. Did you guys catch that? The quality of the video, it's not the best. But if you look close enough, you can see a little orange ring where the logo is located. And with a little bit of research, I found out that this paint is Artist Loft Academic Level 1 Acrylic Paint in Medium Set. And if you've never heard of Artist Loft or you're not familiar with the brand, it's actually Michael's, the craft store. This is like their generic version of paint. You know how Walmart has Great Value? Target has... I can't remember the name of it because I never go to Target because I'm a Walmart girl. That's basically what this is. It's the cheaper alternative to other name brand paints. I was very shocked to find out that the Miss Britney Spears, the woman who was responsible for this,
Ooh, baby, don't you wanna dance upon me?
she's up in here using generic paint. I'm sure she's worth literally hundreds of millions of dollars. And our humble queen is out here using generic paint. We love that. We stand that. And by the way, that painting, that one that you see right there, that one sold for $10,000. We love artist Britney. What can't she do? All right, so let's go ahead and open up this paint and see what the whole situation is. Oh God, it almost knocked over my camera. Now, one thing to note about these paints is that they are academic level 1 paints, meaning level 1 paints is like literally the lowest possible tier of high quality paints there is. And the higher the tier is, the more pigment it has, the better quality pigment. And the lower it goes, the lower the quality of paint, the lower the pigment level. So I'm expecting these paints to not have a lot of pigment in them, and I'm assuming that they're gonna be a little transparent, you know? Okay, red one, not bad at all. I want to see how transparent it is by covering up a black line. If we can see the black line underneath this yellow paint, then we know that it's a little bit transparent. But if it covers it up, then we know it's a little bit more on the pigmented side, which is what you want. not bad. I'm gonna give it like a 50-50. Let's see how well these level 1 paints do to something that's a little bit more expensive and fancy. This is the Master's Touch Thick Body Acrylic Paint. Right off the bat, you can tell there's a difference. It's a lot more transparent. You can see the paper underneath through the paint streak, while the Master's Touch one is a lot more smooth and a lot more nice. So yeah, as everybody predicted, the Master's Touch one is obviously gonna be a little bit better than the Artist Loft one. And even though this is like the cheaper option, I feel like this paint did exactly what Miss Britney Spears wanted to do. Just like hang out, paint something fun, sell it for $10,000, you know, just casual things. So if I had to rate this paint based on all around, I would say that this paint is a solid 8 out of 10.
It's Britney, bitch.
All right, so for this next celebrity, please don't come for me because I know
nothing about this celebrity at all.
And this celebrity singer is Halsey.
Don't waste your time on me.
And even though I know virtually nothing about Halsey, one thing I do know is that her artwork is absolutely stellar. And from time to time, she'll post her artwork on her Instagram, which led me to this photograph right here, where you can see that she made a drawing with watercolor. And what exactly watercolor is that? This is the Divasil watercolor 42 count color set. It was only 15 bucks on Amazon, and I gotta say that it comes with a lot
of little things.
You know what this kind of reminds me of? Do you guys remember Yu-Gi-Oh? Like they would have like that card thing that they attached to their hands like this and they would like whip out the cards.
It's the official Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Disc. Now you can activate your strongest magic cards.
This looks just like it. My first impression is that I'm really shocked by the sheer amount of colors that this one singular package comes with. I mean, you want to talk about compact because here she is. Not only does it come with the colors, it also has a little sponge right here so you can wipe off the excess water. It comes with a little placeholder for your brushes. And if all that wasn't enough, on top of that, it also comes with a mixing palette to mix all the colors on here. That is so fancy. This is kind of like the Swiss Army knife of watercolor.
Think you're bad, boy. Think you're bad, boy. Think you're bad. Think you're bad, but I feel bad for you. I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad. I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I just feel bad for you. I was pretty when I met you. Now I'm prettier than ever. Took a second to forget you, boy. Only one. If you wanted to.
Halsey knows what she's talking about. These are really, really nice. The colors are vibrant. The watercolor melts down in 0.2 seconds. And not to mention the fact that you can just, you know, at any time you need to. I have one more art supply that I want to go over, but I kind of want to just like jump straight into it because I haven't worked with watercolor in a really long time and I miss it. And seeing this right here makes my blood boil. I have like that overwhelming artist need to just like create something right here, right now. Just from my first impression alone, I'm very impressed with this watercolor. If I had to give these a rating, I would give them 10 out of 10.
It's Britney, bitch.
And finally, this leads us to our last celebrity. I feel like she might be controversial. I feel like she might not be. I feel like people are either in the boat where they really, really love this person or they can't stand them. I'm in the boat that I'm not gonna say anything because either way, there's no winning, okay? If I say I like her, people are gonna come for me. If I say I don't like her, people are gonna come for me. So I'm just gonna keep it silent for this one. But yes, Miss Kimberly Kardashian West herself.
Don't be
Rude. Are you kidding me?
And this video comes from either a Snapchat or Instagram story where she showed a tour of her kids' playroom in her house. And first of all, if you haven't seen her house, it's very beige. Almost everything goes with the color scheme of like the beigeness of her house. And the reason that's key information is because the art supply matches the aesthetic of her house. It's very interesting.
So I'm cleaning up for the night, and just because you guys always say my house is so like minimal, well, you guys haven't seen my playroom. A whole paint section. This is where they do their homework. All in here is organized educational stuff for their homework that they sit and do here.
So if you didn't catch that, for a very brief, like 3 seconds, she shows the area where her kids do homework and stuff. And in that area, for a very brief, like 3 seconds, you can see colored pencils in the background. And if you look closely, it looks like she has 2 different kinds in her house. The first kind, I have absolutely zero idea. It could literally be any colored pencil in the world. I have no idea what brand. But the second one that she shows is a little bit more distinct. If you look close enough, you'll notice that it has a plain wooden design. And if you look at the very tip of the pencil, you'll notice a little tiny 1-inch little section of color located on the pencil to tell you what color the pencil is. I went through so many different brands, so many different colored pencil pages. I looked up
And down.
Amazon trying to find this very, very specific colored pencil. And I believe that I found it. I believe that it's here in my hands right now. These colored pencils that are in Miss Kim Kardashian's house are Lyra Germany Rembrandt Polycolor pencils. I've never even heard of these before, so I of course haven't used these before. So let's go ahead and see how these bad boys work. Wow, okay, so right off the bat, these are pretty fancy looking colored pencils, I gotta say. What makes them kind of fancy is the fact that they're made out of pure wood as opposed to compressed wood. Which, I mean, are we surprised? It's Miss Kim Kardashian.
There's people that are dying.
And you know how else you can tell that these are fancy ass colored pencils? Usually more cheaper art supplies like Crayola, for example, they'll name their colors very simplistic colors like red, orange, blue, mac and cheese. But the names on these colored pencils, the colors are named after the actual pigment which is based inside of these colored pencils. Like for example, this one's not just a blue color, this one's Prussian blue, which is a pigment color. That is some fancy, fancy stuff right there. Let's test these out and see how well they work. Okay, I might have spoken a little bit too soon. I might have got a little excited, okay, over Miss Kim Kardashian's art supplies because these Lyra pencils compared to these other 2 swatches of the Caran d'Ache and the Prismacolor, the Lyra ones, even though they have really nice pigment, they're a little bit harder to blend. They're a little bit more streakier, which means that it has more filler in it. And then lastly, they're kind of hard to layer on top of each other. Like this little swatch right here, if you look closely, the top color is mixing with the bottom color, which is absolutely not the case when you compare it to the Caran d'Ache one. So what all this means is that these Lyra ones, they're pretty good. They're pretty pigmented. Like, I would suggest these to people, but if you're doing what Kim Kardashian's doing, which is buying these specifically so your kids can do homework, I feel like that's super, super extra. But yeah, I'm sure her stylist or whoever made the room, I'm sure they didn't buy these because of the quality. I'm sure they literally just bought them because they match with the aesthetic of the house, which I would 1000% do. So if I had to rate these, including the price as an artist, I would say that these are like a 7 out of 10.
And would you stop taking pictures of yourself? Your sister's going to jail.
Now this brings me to the drawing section of this video. I'm gonna have to be very tactical in how I use these because these are all very different mediums. So it's gonna be very interesting to use them all on one singular page. So let's see what I can create.
I'm saying let's go. You're saying maybe. Let's find a disco. You're stuck at home being so lazy. Hey. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. Give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some, give me some energy. Wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come, wanna come dance with me. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. I can see you buzzing like you can't say no. There's no fire without smoke, I ain't letting you go. Come on, let yourself be free. Be the best that you can be. Come move your body. Come move your body. Only settle for the best. Live your life with no regrets. Come move your body. Hey, come move your body.
Well, here you go. Now that I finished the artwork, the Britney Spears, Kim Kardashian ones, they weren't the best. They were pretty streaky. The pigment wasn't the best. They had a lot of filler in them. And at least the Britney Spears one was cheap for what it is. But the Kim Kardashian one, I just wouldn't recommend. But I really enjoyed the Divasil Halsey one. This watercolor paint is awesome. If you want to see a part 2, there were so many celebrities that I had to exclude from this video so it wouldn't be like 3 hours long. So if you want to see a part 2, please let me know down in the comments down below. I would love to do a part 2. And yeah, with that being said, this was Celebrity Art Supplies. I hope you guys have a good day. Thank you guys so much again for watching. Happy drawing, and I'll see you guys next video. Bye.